Okay, here we are back at Midnight Impressions doing the second part of our trials here, utilizing the AXEON system. Funny thing we're having a problem with right now, a great problem to have. Usually you try to make something even better. But right now, we were trying to prove that the AXEON was the same as our Centris 7500 series. But in fact, we're finding that without any adjustments, same squeegee, same screen, mesh counts and everything, it's coming out a little bit more opaque. And the idea was to show everybody it was the same. So at the moment, we're tweaking the screens and the angles so it will look as the same. Actually, we're trying to dumb it down a little bit. A miracle, and we're really pleased about that. So right now we're going to make a few adjustments to make it look the same as the first part. The first part was the 7500. As you can see here, that was one of the last pieces that came off the press. All right, pretty proud of that. But here we go, one of the first parts coming out of the press on the second one. The colors are a little bit more intense. So we're just gonna speed up the squeegees a little bit and make it not as opaque. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. As you know, in part 2, we showed you how we were doing wet-on-wet screen printing with our AXEON system here at Midnight Impressions. But one thing I want to show you before we tear down the machine is that even though we are doing wet-on-wet colors here, as you can see just before this flash, the red has 3 colors that are wet-on-wet before it. But when we go underneath, you'll notice that our inks are still creamy and they're still wet like a Vaseline and not building up. Now, maybe after 1,000 pieces it may, but right now it's still creamy, it's still wet, and we don't expect to have to stop and clean for a long, long time. Thank you for joining us.